Every weekend on 13 ABC, we bring you the to-do list in partnership with the Toledo City paper.
Happening today, you can enjoy.
New this morning, ODOT has approved a $2.4 million grant to improve 2 streets in Findlay. The Courier reports the funds will enhance Main and Corey
and have
Street.
bought water filtration systems instead.
But are those really effective in stopping microcystins? Those are the toxins from the algae that led to the crisis.
13 ABC's Amy Montgomery talks with an expert to get some answers.
Millions of Americans were on the prowl for deals yesterday, but the scene wasn't quite as wild as previous Black Fridays. Kelly, happening right now, thousands of people are taking part in the Color Run. Here are some live pictures from downtown, the Color Run. A Denver Nuggets fan got super excited at a basketball game last night.
We're super excited that somebody got it on video. He put some moves that have gone viral. Check this out. He's apparently trying to...
So it's important to make some new habits. Callenbach says to take your purse and or briefcase and your cell phone and throw it in the back every time you leave. That way, when you do have a child in the back seat, when you go to grab your stuff, you'll be reminded the child is there. With more of the concern about ice than snow this week, it's more important to make sure you're loaded up on salt before worrying about shovels.
I had some left over.
And there's something for everyone, whether you want to camp or travel in luxury, or you're on a budget but still want to avoid being in a tent. Even this little peanut has a TV and an air conditioner. Now here's something you won't see in the back of an Oasis kitchen every day. Bags and bags and bags of bottles of water. The owner says they've been going through 2,500 to 3,000 bottles of water a day between all 4 stores.
If we have to do this all week.
Bill, there's no convenient time to be without power, but with a widespread loss of electricity to many of these homes on a holiday weekend, it makes a bad situation even worse. Diane, I really started noticing the ice forming on the sidewalks last night, but there's even more of it tonight. If you take a look at our parking lot here, there's patches of ice like this one all throughout the parking lot, and the roads are no different. There's patches of ice there too. More are realizing a layer of ice forming, and they're preparing for a more intense winter. Grab your salt and go.
This year,
We're here at the Columbus Firefighters Union, Local 67. We still have about an hour before we can get inside, but that's where the Democratic challengers for the governor's office are inside watching and waiting. Bill, the body was discovered in this shallow creek just off of Burn, about where it dead ends into Dorr Street. We spoke with those living nearby, and they all said the same thing, that they understood that the body found was that of someone who was a member of Theta Chi at the University of Toledo. Now, I did just get that confirmed just before air from an alum of that chapter of the fraternity. Now, neighbors also say that he was in town visiting college friends.
Lee, live there to explain what makes this year's show so special.
This show has been going on for 5 decades, making it the oldest and largest RV show of its kind in the region. There are hundreds of RVs on display here, and among them are some retro styles to celebrate the fact that the show has been going on for 50 years. But come on in, let's take a look at this one. This one is certainly not retro. If you come in here, you can see a TV and a fireplace. I think I might want to just sit down and relax, but hey, there's somebody already in here, Dave Brown.
Good morning, Christy.
Good morning. Dave is the show coordinator, and what can you tell me about this particular RV that we're in right now?
But first, we start with some breaking news just into our newsroom. A pedestrian has been killed on Central Avenue. At this hour, Central Avenue is closed to traffic in both directions. That's where we find 13 ABC's Christy Lee.
Christina, yes, it is shut down between King and Centennial. Sylvania Township Police say a pedestrian was hit and killed. The driver took off. So they are treating this as a crime scene, so we can only get so close. If you see behind me, you can see all the flashing lights. We have Sylvania Township Police on scene. They say about 4 units here, and Lucas County Sheriff's Office is going to be helping with traffic control, keeping people away from this section of Central, as well as Ohio State Highway Patrol all on scene. They are not able to tell me much at this point, they do have no information on the pedestrian other than we were told that pedestrian was killed. The driver took off. We don't have any information on the driver at this time either. But because of the nature, because of this is a crime scene, they have this area shut down and no traffic can come through here on Central between King and Centennial. So avoid this area if you can. No word on how long we're going to have this area shut down. It's been shut down since about 5 a.m. when this accident happened. We'll let you know further details as we find them out. Reporting live in Sylvania Township, Christy Lee, 13 ABC Action News.
Thanks, Christy. From there, let's get you up to speed.
Thank you. A family tradition of daily acts of kindness led to a young Waterville boy's decision to really pay it forward.
It ended up touching a whole family and inspiring others. 13 ABC's Christy Lee has a story, all new at 5:30.
It says Detroit Tigers.
Miles Eckert found a $20 bill in the parking lot while walking into Cracker Barrel to eat with his mom and sister.
I think most kids his age, she's going to be 9 next month, would have been like, oh, let's go buy a video game. I found $20. And now Miles and Marley together decided our waitress, it's her lucky day.
But that same day, Lieutenant Colonel Frank Daly of Perrysburg came to grab lunch with his wife.
I happened to be in uniform because it was a break from work for me.
Mr. Daly walked in and Miles' eyes lit up and he looked at me and said, Mom, we're supposed to give that $20 to that soldier.
My wife noticed a little guy behind me that kept trying to approach me, and then he'd run back to his mom.
And he was super, super excited, and he asked me if I had a pen and paper, and he wanted to write him a note.
Lieutenant Colonel Daly ended up getting the $20 and the note that read, "Dear soldier, my dad was a soldier. He's in heaven now. I found this $20 in the parking lot when we got here. We like to pay it forward in my family. It's your lucky day. Thank you for your service. Miles Eckert, a Gold Star kid."
When I saw that soldier, it made me think of my dad. So I decided to give it to him.
Miles' father, Andy Eckert, died in the line of duty in 2005.
I could hardly keep a composure. And then finally, at the bottom, it said that he was a Gold Star kid, and so that indicated to me that he had a loss in the family.
How did that make you feel when he came over and said thank you?
Really happy.
I'm going to keep that note for my lifetime.
So $20 found on the pavement by a young boy and given away is inspiring that family to pay it forward as well.
For a little guy to give up quite the treasure to him was inspirational to us. And my wife and I talked about it, and immediately we were on the same page that we were going to pay that forward into the community, and hopefully that $20 grows even more.
In Maumee, Christy Lee, 13 ABC Action News.
Well, Lieutenant Colonel Daly's daughter posted a picture of the note on Facebook, and it got the families connected within hours. They plan to stay in touch.
Crime spree leads to a 9-hour standoff involving several agencies and about 70 police officers. Happened in Huron County over the weekend. And late this afternoon, authorities released new details. 13 ABC's Christy Lee, just back from Huron County, explaining how one piece of equipment may have saved lives. Christy?
Several counties and agencies worked together to get an armed robbery suspect safely out of an unoccupied home he had barricaded himself in. In their efforts, Ashland County sent in a robot. Deputies say it helped keep officers safe and get the suspect to a hospital on time to save his life.
We were able to determine that once they launched the tear gas, he shot himself and he was injured, which gave us immediate information, which more than likely saved his life.
Huron County Sheriff Dane Howard says this man, 39-year-old Eric Patrick of Shelby, is now in stable condition, but he's facing multiple felonies after the weekend he put law enforcement through. The Richland County Sheriff says Patrick was on a crime spree between Friday and Saturday, culminating in an aggravated robbery at a market in Shelby. Patrols found him in Mansfield, which led to a high-speed chase into Huron County.
Went over the stop sticks, which blew out the 2 tires on the left side of the vehicle. He continued several more miles in the area of Olena.
Tire tracks are still visible from the end of the chase. At this point, several agencies and more than 60 officers were assisting.
He was armed at that time and was making some very harsh comments, specifically that he was going to shoot the deputies.
Sheriff Howard gets choked up talking about the subsequent 9-hour standoff at this unoccupied home on State Route 250.
How does it make me feel? Well, obviously, as the sheriff, I'm responsible for him. It's a tough call, but you have to make the stand for the victims in our community.
You can see the windows are now covered up. They were likely busted out when authorities administered the tear gas.
No law enforcement were injured in this event, and I think that robot and the ASORT team from Mansfield both played a vital role in that accomplishment.
Upon seeing Patrick had shot himself in the chest, officers made an emergency entry and he was transported to a Toledo hospital.
And I've been there when cops have lost their lives, and it can happen, and my goal was that didn't happen that night, and we succeeded in that.
Richland County Sheriff Steve Sheldon says drugs played a role in this crime. He says cocaine and heroin use in the county is very high and is drastically increasing the number of thefts, burglaries, and robberies in the area. Reporting live, Christy Lee, 13 ABC Action News.
All right, Christy.
She is a single mom struggling with multiple sclerosis, and now the Sylvania woman is getting kicked out of the home she's lived in for 20 years. 13 ABC's Christy Lee joins us live with the emotional details, and it's a story you'll only see right here on 13 ABC. Christy?
Well, she's getting by with a little help from her friends. Beth Weeks has been a member of St. Matthew's Episcopal Church for about 7 years. She says she's hit rock bottom and doesn't know what she would do without her church family.
It's been wonderful. It's been just so awesome to have all of them surrounding me to help me through this difficult time.
Beth Weeks was a massage therapist, but
because of this stupid hand I like to cut off, I can't do a massage with one hand.
She hasn't been able to work since her symptoms of MS started to appear just 2 years ago.
Hers has been so aggressive, so fast. She just came down with it in the end of 2012, and already she's at a place where she can hardly walk.
Reverend Joe Keblish Jr., Weeks' pastor, says she's always been a strong, self-sufficient woman. He didn't know how bad things had gotten for her until just recently. Weeks says she hasn't been able to work but has been denied disability twice already.
Yes, they said I am capable of working.
And just about a year ago, her 17-year-old son Tyler started exhibiting speech and mobility issues.
Trying to figure out his deal, and there's no answers for any of that.
Weeks took Tyler to the Cleveland Clinic for MS testing, and she came home to this, an eviction notice on her door.
Just been like one thing after the next.
Weeks' church family took action right away. Dozens came to help her get her things out of her home of 20 years and into storage. The pastor's son and wife are even keeping Weeks and her 2 sons in their home while helping her find a place to stay.
All of them told us the same thing. You must be homeless first before we help you. So we have to put a woman with MS and 2 children on the streets before we can get help from anyone.
Reverend Keblish says it's been gratifying to see so many in his parish helping out.
It just makes my heart feel good. It breaks my heart to see what's happening to her. I feel hopeless, helpless sometimes. It's overwhelming.
The next step for Beth Weeks will be to go before a judge and see if she can get the disability she says she needs. In the meantime, she's looking for a place her and her 2 boys can call home. Her church is helping, but Reverend Joe Keblish Jr. says if anyone else wants to help, they can contact St. Matthew's Episcopal Church in Sylvania. For more information on that, go to our website. Reporting live tonight, Christy Lee, 13 ABC Action News.
Tough story. Christy, thank you. And the community also coming together to honor the fallen firefighters and all the other firefighters still on the job every day. 13 ABC's Christy Lee live now with how firefighters were served today and will be in the week ahead.
Firefighters at all the stations around town received an outpouring of support after their brothers Jamie Dickman and Steve Mashinsky lost their lives. That kindness is continuing to be seen 1 year later.
I like to consider myself, an extended family of the firefighters. We know a lot of them, and, when this tragedy happened last year, it kind of hit home.
Larry Creedy helped feed Toledo firefighters for 6 months when they lost 2 of their own last year by organizing a community dinner drop-off calendar. He's at it again to support them on the 1-year anniversary of the tragic loss.
I'm happy to be a part of it. I'm not a firefighter. I'm just glad that I can help out in my own little way.
Perch, chicken, and more were on the menu tonight. Food donated by Angelo's Northwood Villa.
It's just about everyone in the community and the surrounding areas kind of coming together and helping out. They deserve it.
Together, they loaded up the food, packed it up, and then headed out to Fire Station 3. The delivery came just after the vigil.
Courtesy of Angelo's Northwood Villa.
Creedy also donated this picture. It was taken at the procession last year.
We were outside of JCPenney's.
My little boy had his firefighter outfit on, and my girl had her Toledo shirt on, and someone snapped a picture of the back of him, and it went a little viral on the internet.
A lot of people see it and like it?
Yeah. How many likes did we get?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
And then more gifts came. Not 1, not 2, but 3 handmade tables for Fire Station number 3. Hunter Crippen needed a service project to earn his Eagle Scout rank. With a firefighter in the family, Crippen says he knew what he wanted to do after the tragic loss last year.
It felt really nice to be able to give back to the firefighters for all that they do for our community.
Throughout the 200-hour process, there was much attention paid to detail to make it personal, like the top of the table with the Station 3 logo, the etching on the sides, and the legs to look like axes.
Thank you very much. Looks great.
I think all these extensions of sympathy and kindness to us are just more examples of what a great community we all are a part of and we live in.
And if you would like to be a part of supporting Toledo firefighters in the week ahead, you can get on the dinner drop-off calendar. You can get your name on it by visiting perfectpotluck.com. The coordinator name is TFRD, and the password is 2015. Get connected to our website, 13abc.com. We'll post the instructions there. Reporting live tonight, Christy Lee, 13ABC Action News.